Welcome back to the program, and thank you for staying tuned on Smart 24 TV, where we drive your business. My name is Anthony, and this is Financial Markets. Remember to follow us on our socials. On X, you can find us at Smart 24 TV now, and on YouTube, we are live still at Smart 24 TV Live. Or you can find us in our mainstream media on GoTV channel 394 and DSTV channel 302. Well, we're still diving into the discussion. How does the Capital Markets Authority ensure integrity and stability within the market? And tonight, I'm with Mr. Kizito Denis, who is the Director, Market Supervision. Who can answer these questions better than him? None, I think. Mr. Kizito, continuing with our discussion, could you elaborate more? We've discussed, of course, investor protection. Could you elaborate more on investor confidence? Why we want to look at investor confidence? Because all the markets that have made it through have built the confidence. Investors have the confidence and they feel protected. For example, we have the DPF here, which has, at least keeps 10 million for the savers in the bank. So people feel like they're safe with any bank, so long as it's licensed by Bank of Uganda, and they know they can recover at least up to 10 million. Yeah. So how do you also boost investor confidence within the capital markets of Uganda?
Okay, thank you. I will start off with something which is similar to the Deposit Protection Fund. Okay. Our equivalent is called the Investor Compensation Fund. Okay. We do have a fund which was put in place by the CMA Act to ensure that whenever investors incur monetary losses as they play within Uganda's capital markets, they are compensated. So that is one source of confidence in our market. And of course, we haven't used the Investor Compensation Fund since it was put in place, and that goes to say a lot about the stability of Uganda's financial markets. But that said, we do have other initiatives or other processes which we play to ensure that there is investor confidence, because without confidence the market is done. So some of those initiatives that we've undertaken, they include timely investor complaints resolution. We do require our licensed persons to resolve investor complaints within 3 months after receipt of a complaint. And in addition to that, we do require them to escalate those complaints that have not been resolved within the mandatory 3 months to us. And whenever those complaints come to us, we have a client service charter which stipulates the timelines within which we are supposed to resolve those complaints. So we expeditiously ensure that those complaints are resolved within the premises provided by the client service charter to the satisfaction of the investors, and that alone is one of the ways we try to promote investor confidence. Okay. The other is expeditious resolution of or execution of investigations. Investigations, once we identify potential cases of malpractices or abuse within our market, we quickly move in, we investigate to reach a conclusion of the matter. And once we've reached the conclusion of the matter, depending on whether the victims or the suspects are culpable or not, we move on to make the decision on whether to enforce or not to enforce. And we do have a strong enforcement system in place, and we have quite a number of cases that are being tried in court to ensure that investors are fairly treated and they get good redress of their issues. Yeah, thank you.
Amazing. I think that really is a very wholesome statement when you say that the compensation fund has not even been put into use, which means the markets haven't actually faced any sort of consequences that would require a compensation fund, but it's available. And as he has mentioned, investors are protected in as regards their funds, no matter what happens, so long as I think they're dealing with a regulated and licensed
very
person.
Important. Yeah, very important.
Yeah. Now, let's talk about promotion of growth of our markets. Recent reports from UBOS show that less than 1% of Ugandans know about capital markets. Yes, we see the stock market, we see the treasury bond and bills market. However, very few people actually get to understand and leverage the opportunities therein. When you look at dividends, for example, I've seen Umeme here just released their financials once again. MTN also recently released. You see people bagging almost billions, one individual, you know, and the rest of the Ugandans are just watching, right? But you as a licensing agent, when you are licensing, do you have a criteria under which that person has to comply to the growth of the market? Because you license the brokers, you license these dealers, and these are the people that actually get to touch base with the market. Do you have a criteria for promotion of growth and development of our market?
Okay, thank you so much. The question goes back to the debate on what does a regulator do when he has to develop the market and at the same time regulate the market. It's usually a balancing act. But what we do currently is at the point of licensing, review of license applications or approval applications for debt or equity issuances, we do consider and ascertain what contribution is this license or approval application going to make to Uganda's National Development Plan number 4. So that's how far we go as of now. Now, I know there are other regulators which we are currently benchmarking with who have even gone an extra mile of introducing what they call a market development levy. Now, the market development levy is a fee charged in those jurisdictions to cater for market development activities. We have not yet taken that path as far as Uganda is concerned, but we are seriously considering that path. So for now, at licensing and approvals level, we do assess the contribution this application or this approval application is going to make to the economy and to the national, we call it NDP4, or the National Development Plan number 4. But in future, we envisage that we may have to introduce a levy, and that will help us promote market development. What we do is to promote. We don't ourselves get involved in the actual development of the market, but we are facilitative. We do a facilitative role by ensuring that the players themselves take center stage as far as market development is concerned. But that also we support it with our policy interventions by proposing to the government those areas which need to be looked into and fine-tuned to ensure that Uganda's capital markets is on a growth trajectory.
Now, looking at the licensed entities so far, two securities exchanges, 5 stockbrokers, about 19 listings now on the exchange. The dealers, I'm not certain of the number. And then two dealers. And yes, it just seems like a handful. Is this intentional, or this is sufficient for the 45 million Ugandans in order to address their needs as far as capital markets is concerned?
Okay, thank you. I guess the response to that is a yes and a no. Because really, when you see how markets have evolved, back in the days, we used to have open outcry method of transacting at the exchange. It has gone because automation set in. A broker can sit anywhere, an investor can sit anywhere, go online and then feed in their orders without the broker having to come to a physical place to cry out the investor's order. So that really goes to say that with the automation, you don't need numbers. You can have one fund manager, and that fund manager can serve the entire Uganda. The same applies like you see the likes of the telecom industry. You have how many mobile money players, but how many people are they serving? So with automation, the debate about numbers, we can have it on another day. But also I need to balance that with the fact that automation requires a lot of money, which money the licensed persons pull from the commissions they get from investors. So if the market is not that developed, you are going to achieve low levels of automation. And at that point, you may need now to balance the numbers, really. But as the market develops and there is more liquidity, a lot of commission to the licensed persons, then we can now talk automation and low numbers.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Talk about the authorities' collaboration with other international organizations in order to combat cross-border financial crimes, because this has become a new crime, so to say. Cybersecurity has also been very key in addressing some of these issues. Are there some collaborations that CMA has intentionally taken in order to fight cross-border financial crimes and money laundering as well?
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I would speak to that on two fronts. One is the anti-money laundering front. Okay. For that one, Uganda is a member of SMLAG and the Eastern Central Africa Anti-Money Laundering Group. And we also have FATF, the Financial Action Task Force. So Uganda really plays a critical role. Those are international or multi-regional agencies where various regulators come together to combat this vice of anti-money laundering. That is one initiative. So we've joined and we are actively participating. Okay. We had the last assessment last year, and we are really doing well as per the last assessment. We can only do better. But that said, away from the anti-money laundering engagements, we do have locally here, we do have the Financial Sector Stability Forum, which brings together Bank of Uganda, Capital Markets Authority, Insurance Regulatory Authority, Uganda Retirement Benefits Authority, and others. Basically, financial sector services players. And under this umbrella body, the major objective, we have quite a number, but is to combat systemic risk within the financial services industry, and also reduce or manage the risk of contagion within the financial services industry. So in there, we do quite a number of activities. We do have supervisory meetings. We do hold joint inspections. Of course, again, we want to reduce the cost of compliance. You find that one player is licensed by Capital Markets Authority, but is also licensed by UBRA, again is licensed by IRA. It would be so cost straining on this licensed person. If CMA licenses, let's say, CMA comes to inspect, let's say, in January, then in February, IRA comes, then in March, again, UBRA comes to inspect. So what we do under the auspices of the Financial Sector Stability Forum is that we do have joint inspections so that we can reduce the cost of compliance. And then and a number of other initiatives we've taken to reduce the cost of compliance. On a regional level, we do have the East Africa Security Regulators Association. It's called IASRA. This one also brings now the regional capital markets of financial services regulators within the East African region. Again, under the same objectives as the Financial Sector Stability Forum, only that at this level, they are regional objectives. We do engage in supervisory colleges where we discuss, most especially those players which cross borders. You find that someone is licensed in Nairobi, but is also licensed in Uganda. We do have close dialogue and other engagements to ensure that we discuss the issues, compliance issues regarding these people. And we also do benchmarking exercises to ensure that each one's supervisory processes are matching the best practices that there are in the financial services supervision industry.
Amazing. Yeah. Well, looking at the market supervision, you have a mandate to, of course, grow the market and also at the same time regulate. Coming back to that, how have you ensured that there is a balance between the need for innovation and flexibility in the market, of course keeping up with the trends as well in terms of technology and global trends, as well as making sure that the market is safe for operation?
Okay, thank you. Regulation comes from a risk management angle.
Okay.
Whichever law you see and whatever provisions are there in that law, those provisions, by the mere fact that they are there and they have to be enforced, they are risk management controls. So, by that said, like we have already discussed, the markets have different stages of development, and those stages of development need to be really thought about as we decide on how much regulation a market at a particular level needs. So, given that, we've had two initiatives. One is to introduce exemptions and waivers. Exemptions and waivers have been incorporated in some of our laws to ensure that innovative products are supported. Of course, that doesn't mean that we waive the requirements and we let someone go on a free roll. No, yes. No. We do introduce secondary controls.
Okay.
So, secondly, we've been able to introduce, this is work in progress, the sandbox. The sandbox is going to really be the in thing once it's implemented, because it will give people more space, more play space to prove to the authority that my idea needs licensing, my idea needs to be transformed into a live market product.
I hope there will be enough room for
There is. Because even in the markets where this has been implemented, really, we've seen positive growth.
Yeah. Because I've seen you on a debate challenge in high school. You know, these youngsters have crazy ideas, but I think most of the ideas that have transformed this world have come from young people at a very tender age sometimes. I don't know if you also think through that.
Yeah, I think so. We've seen quite a number of them. Bill Gates is now old, but he was a young man when he invented Microsoft.
That's right.
Yeah, but I think the sandbox is really going to be a great initiative by the authority once it comes into implementation stage. Yeah.
Still, in terms of flexibility, recently, I think last year or early this year, the Nairobi Stock Exchange or the Capital Markets Authority in Nairobi reviewed their listing rules. You know, they had a rule whereby, I think which we still have here in Uganda, that for a company to list, it has to have 5 years of profitability. In the issuance of the prospectus, they must make it clear that in the past 5 years they have been a profitable entity, and they reduced that down to 3 years. It was very interesting because they had a drought of IPOs for I think about 5-6 years. No IPO has been there, but I don't know if we still have that room as well here, the flexibility to see that if we can be able to even adjust the listing, licensing rules and regulations, making it easier, not in a way that compromises investor protection, but in a way to open up the market.
Yeah, we do have, when you look at the exchange rules, we do have a number of segments, market segments. There is the main market where those high caliber companies, high net worth companies can list, or you call them blue chips.
Yeah.
The Ugandan version of blue chips, the likes of MTN.
Why is the Ugandan version?
Yeah, because you cannot compare them to the blue chips from those markets where we borrow that term from. You can't compare them appropriately. Yeah, so what happens is that the exchanges have introduced quite a number of levels or segments so that whichever company is there can figure out which segment they can play in. The introduction of those segments was, and that's why the authority approved the amendment of exchange rules to introduce these segments, is really to make it easier for people to join the market depending on their particular circumstances. If a company is a medium-sized company and it can't go to the main exchange, then it can go into what we call the alternative market or the games market, the growth enterprise market segment. Yeah. So I would say yes, they are mechanisms to ensure that the companies, regarding on what circumstances they are in, they can be able to come and list on the exchanges that we have.
Oh, amazing. Our time is fast spent, Mr. Kizito. However, my final question would be, what message would you like to render to the viewers and to investors, market players, and the general public about the state of our Capital Markets Authority and, if any, need for action to be taken?
Okay, thank you so much. The capital markets in Uganda have been around for over 20 years, and we've seen growth in quite a number of subsectors of the market. For example, the CIS, call them collective investment schemes, are about to hit 3 trillion. Now, these are investor deposits being managed through collective investment schemes. And we've seen market capitalization grow. So really the trajectory is positive, and we hope the market is going to continue growing. My call upon Ugandans is to invest in markets. I know there are many people who have money on bank accounts, and they just keep it there, and it's only just being eaten up by bank charges every day. But if someone made a decision to invest in collective investment schemes or unit trusts, the moment you earn, the moment you invest, you are going to earn from day one going forward with minimal charges. So my call upon Ugandans is to start investing today, because you don't know what is going to happen tomorrow. You need to invest for the rainy day. And also is to call upon Ugandans to be very, very careful whenever they are presented with investment opportunities. Ponzi schemes, pyramid schemes, we used to hear them as history, but now they are here. People are looking for ways of defrauding each other. So always ensure that the person before you who is presenting an investment opportunity to you is licensed by Capital Markets Authority.
What's the best way to verify a license?
The best way to verify a license is by that person showing you that license, a copy of that license, and use the numbers that are on that license and call us. We'll be able to confirm whether those people are licensed. For those online, you can go to our website and check out a list of our licensed persons. But in addition, we do issue regular public notices, notifying the public of approval decisions regarding licensing that we've made, and also publishing a list of our licensed persons.
Wow, amazing. Thank you so much, Mr. Kizito. I was very, very honored to actually have you here.
Thank you.
And I hope you come back.
Thank you so much.
Thanks
for hosting me.
You're welcome. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That was it from us tonight. I was talking to Mr. Kizito Denis, who is the Director, Market Supervision of the Capital Markets Authority. And you heard it from the horse's mouth. The investor confidence should actually be boosted after this. And what are you waiting for? Grab your phone, get to open an account, do something at least to be able to partake of the capital markets cake of Uganda. My name is Anthony. I'll catch you next time. Have a good night. Bye for now.